Hi, everybody. My name is Jason.
I'm Caden.
I'm Jaden.
I'm Eli.
And we are the Yahuwah and the Torah channel. And we thank you guys very, very much for hanging out with us. And we are hanging with you guys in the middle of the week. And this is a day off for us because today is the day that we are celebrating what?
Yom Torah.
Yay. And so we don't go over a tremendous amount of the appointed times with everybody because it seems like it causes a tremendous amount of division. It seems like everybody wants to hate everybody when everybody is trying to find their way forward. And we are on the Zadiki calendar, and we were lunar keepers for a long time, and then when we did a deep search into this, we could not find what we were looking for when it came down to lunar keeping and when it came down to all of that. And so for all of you guys out there who are keeping the Feast of Trumpets today, much love to all of you guys out there. We hope that you guys have a wonderful day and a wonderful feast day, and it is a blessing to you. And for those of you guys who celebrate it later or other calendars, I think there are more calendars nowadays than there are months of the year for sure. And so here we are, and so we are hanging out as a family. Today is a day of rest for us, day of celebration, feast day, and we will just be chilling. And what you're looking at right here is you guys are looking at Yah Scriptures. It is the greatest English translation that has ever been given to mankind. It is a 103 book version. It has 3,153 pages. It's large print. This is a large book. This is not a book for weak people. This book is about 6 pounds. It's a little over 6 pounds. And what you will get when you are getting the Yah Scriptures is you will get the name of our Creator. His name is restored. You also have the name of his son, Yahushua, Yeshua. However, whoever likes to say it as is much closer than Jesus. There were no J's in Hebrew. And so a Hebrew man's name would have never been called Jesus. And so we have Yahushua and we have Yahuwah on the front of this. We have the Yahuwah on the front, Yahushua on the back. And it is available. It's not available today. We turn it off on any kind of appointed times, or today's actually a high Shabbat. And so you will not be able to get these on a Shabbat, and you will not be able to get these on days like today. But any other time, tonight after sunset, when the sun is back, we will turn the store back on. And for anybody that wants to grab one of these, they are available for everyone that is purchased. We are able to get one full scriptures into our brothers and sisters in chains. The prison ministry has turned into something absolutely incredible. I have 2 of you guys out right now that are helping along with me. I think I have about 30 people on death row that I correspond with right now, roughly around there, I would guess. And so we have other brothers out there who are now taking on a couple of names. If you guys would like to change a life or do any kind of ministering at all, I will tell you the most fertile fields of anywhere right here that I've seen is the brothers and sisters in chains. And a lot of them don't want to hear scriptures. A lot of them don't want to hear anything at all. But a lot of them do. And once you actually start talking to them, giving them a little bit of love, then they will respond very, very well. And we have brothers and sisters in chains on their knees, praying and meditating on the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator. Now, we are the family who believes that the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator that are found in the first 5 books of Scriptures are what, Jade?
That is the Torah.
Yeah, but what are they? They are the books that we follow. They are the ways for the future. They are a thing called the way forward. And that is what the Torah means. And so as we are the family that believes that these laws, statutes, and commands are good for all generations. There's no expiration date. That means they are good for all of us. And they are not found anywhere else. You can't find them in the books of Paul. Like if you want to go to the books of Paul and you think that you're going to find some sort of way to the kingdom, if you only have the books of Paul, I don't think you'll find the kingdom. If that's the only person who is in your doctrine is Paul, I do not think you have the road to the kingdom. The road to the kingdom includes all books from the front of the book to the end of the book, and including the Apocrypha as well. That is what scriptures are, and every one of these scriptures in Yah Scriptures It all goes the same way. If you will be obedient to my laws, to my statutes, to my commands, I will be your Elohim and you will be my people. That's what the scriptures say. And so these are the promises in these scriptures that I'm counting on, that I'm guiding my family and that we're counting on, and that we hope that you guys will lead your family and that you guys will count on them as well. Gentlemen, how you guys doing?
Good.
How's everyone? Everyone get some sleep?
Yeah.
You guys good? Yeah. Bushy-eyed and ready. I think it's bushy-tailed and wide-eyed. Wide-eyed and bushy-tailed is what they say. So is that you?
I don't know, but all right. It sound like
got
raccoons or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got no tail. But
Yeah, no tail. Yeah, but here we are. So, Eli, how you doing, buddy?
Good.
Okay, so before we go into this, who wants to give me a recap? Sorry, guys, I keep going the wrong thing. Who wants to give me a recap on starting with Saul? Somebody, Cade, give it to me. Jade always tries to get away from this one.
I'm still here.
Yeah, all right. We had Saul, who was the first chosen king because Israel wanted a king. Yahuwah said, "King's a bad idea. Let me be your ruler. Let me be the person over in charge. The Kohens be the people that give you the laws. Let the Kohens be the people."
Who was the priest back in the days of Saul?
It wasn't Samuel.
Eli.
Samuel was the probably.
It was Eli.
Yeah.
It was Eli and his sons.
Yeah, and so
But they weren't real great. So
yeah, and was Eli happy when Saul went to him and asked him for a king?
I don't think so.
You guys, Eli, you don't remember this?
No, he wasn't. No, it was Samuel. Wasn't it Samuel? He went to Samuel.
Samuel was the prophet. Samuel
Who
was the prophet.
who was the leader of the group that everybody went to and asked for a king, and he was offended in this?
I thought it was Samuel.
It was Samuel.
Eli, you don't remember? Wow.
Okay.
You guys actually read the scriptures and typed these things up, and you can't even remember this.
It's Samuel.
What goes on in your mind, Eli?
What?
A lot. Okay, so
Samuel.
we're failing all of you guys back then. But actually, I think we don't have to go too far on this, guys, because it's actually right in front of us. It's right in front of me. But you guys can figure it out because you guys should actually know this without it. Okay, so we had Samuel who was hanging out with Saul.
It's Samuel.
It's Samuel.
Samuel poured the flask on his head.
Yeah, it's right here. It's right.
Yeah, Samuel went to Yah, and he's like these people want a king.
So how do we get with Eli? Who said that?
No, the priest.
You're talking about the priest. Who were the priests in the days? And that's
Who were the priests?
Who's
Eli.
the leader? Who did the people go to back in these
Also,
days?
you said who did Saul ask to be the king? Saul never asked to be the king.
Oh, maybe it's a trick question.
Yeah, no, you said who are the priests back in the days?
Where's your
Eli and
Bible,
his
Eli?
sons.
In my room.
Haven't I asked you to bring it out here before? Okay, well, will you please go grab that so we can all have this and discuss this as well? Okay, all right, so we have Samuel, and he is hanging out. He is not happy that all the people want a king, and so they gave him Saul, and then what happened?
And then Saul took the reign, and he became evil with it, right? He did not do the commands. He was told to wipe out an entire village of people, evil people, giants, and he kept them all alive, kept the sheep, goats, kept them in his, and that upset Samuel. So Samuel had to do the dirty work and kill the people. And then at this point, Samuel goes, "This is going to get the reign. You're no longer going to be the reign of the kingdom of Israel. You are going to get this taken away from you, stripped from you by someone else. Your kids are no longer getting the reign." And Saul went downhill from there. He ended up doing terrible things, consulting mediums, consulting demons, becoming a demon. He had his own little personality.
Yeah, he actually.
Demon.
Yeah, he had some problems where he had demons of some kind, right? He was like, when you decide that all of a sudden you're going to start chucking spears at people, when people are sitting there playing songs and things, you got some problems, right? You got some serious demons.
And
Okay.
during that one, after Saul died, David became the king. David is from the line of Benjamin, from
Judah.
From Judah. No.
Saul's Benjamins.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
We're just totally slaughtering this today, guys. We all need to read our scriptures more around here, for sure.
Well, he's from Judah. He's from Judah, and that's where his line of Israel comes from. And he was the king, and it got on to his son, and everything was going well until Solomon got there, and Solomon got too many wives and had all these different religions, all these different gods, all these different idols, and it ruined Israel. So his son went on and took it, made it worse, and it's gone worse ever since, to the point where the kingdoms got taken away from Yehuda, from the tribe of Yehuda, and it got split into two kingdoms, and then the kingdom of Israel and the kingdom of Judah, and the kingdom of Israel made it even worse than it was before, and they are now in captivity, and now we are just left with Judah.
Yep.
And with King Hezekiah, he is pretty good. He's a pretty good king so far.
King Hezekiah, and who is our scriptures? Who's to say instead of Hezekiah?
Hezekiah.
Hezekiah. Okay.
And he's hanging out with the prophet Isaiah. So Isaiah's hanging around during these days.
Yep, and as you guys can see right here, so the left side of this right here is the tribe of Judah. This is the southern tribes. There were 12 tribes of Israel. And this is what I try to explain to brothers and sisters in chains. And for anybody who's never read Bible, then all they have is they have the Jews, right? They're like, well, there's just Jews. Well, when you're talking about just simply Jews, you're only representing one of the 12 tribes of Israel. You're representing the tribe of Judah. And even just calling all tribes together Jews, it doesn't represent them because the majority, 10 of the tribes are gone. They never came back into this. And what's interesting is when the northern tribes just went into captivity, the southern tribes would not let them back into the kingdom, right? The people that would come back, unless you would convert to their Judaism, you could not even come back, even though you were part of the original 12 tribes. When they got ixnayed, when they got sent off, when the Assyrians came in and took over there, the northern tribe, or the southern tribe, they thought it was, their rabbis decided that they did not ever want to allow that northern kingdom ever back. And so it was very, very hard for a northern kingdom style people, the ones that were in that tribe, to ever blend back in with that southern kingdom. And so here we are right now, and we just finished off with these guys right here. And they're gone. So all of our northern family is gone. And these are very well could be us, right? The northern 10 tribes of Israel, Bible prophecy says at the end of times, these guys will all seek our Creator. They will all seek His ways, and they will regroup. And so Hebrews 8, which is one of it's the new covenant that the Christians talk about a lot. It doesn't talk about a house of Gentile. It doesn't talk about a house of Christian. We're only talking about two possible houses. If you ever want to join the kingdom of our Creator, there you have two houses. You have the northern kingdom or you have the southern kingdom. You have the house of Yisrael that you need to join. House of Christian, there's no such place anywhere in scriptures that the house of Christian is taken. In fact, the house of Christian is a lawless religion, and Messiah says, Yahushua, Jesus Christ, says in Matthew 7 that the Christians, the lawless religion of the Christianity or anybody lawless will be sent to hell. And so this is why we are always out there urging people not to go into this mockery of religion, this so-called religion that is once saved, always saved, that you think that you can... There's no way out. You can't lose your salvation, when very, very clearly in scriptures, many people have lost what you would call salvation. So here we are. We are into 2 Kings 19. This is the where we are right now. Hezekiah, and then his son Manasseh. And so let us get reading. Anyone else have anything? Eli, anything for us?
No.
Okay. 19. And it came to be when sovereign Kizikiyahu heard it, that he tore his garments and covered himself with sackcloth and went into the house of Yahuwah. Okay, what did he hear? What did you guys? What did he hear?
It was the one guy saying they're going to come against him and do all these evil things to him.
Okay, and so basically, there's a war against them, and it looks like it's game over for him. And it basically looked like it's over. And so he went into the and when Kizikiyahu heard it, tore his garments, covered himself with sackcloth, and went into the house of Yahuwah, and sent Elikim, who was over the household, and Shebna, the scribe, and the elders of the Kohen, covering themselves with sackcloth, to Yesiyahu, to Isaiah, the prophet, Nabai, son of Amatz. And they said to him, Thus said Kizikiyahu, This is a day of distress, and rebuke, and scorn, for the children have come to birth, but there is no power to bring forth. It could be that Yahuwah your Elohim hears all the words of Rabshakeh, whom his master, the sovereign of Ashur, what's going on?
We already read this chapter.
Did we already read this chapter?
We're on 20.
Are we? Are we on 20?
Look, we already did it.
Oh, we jacked this up. I thought it sounded thing. Jade, nothing. You guys just continue on. Let me just read on into this. All right, so that's it. So we're gonna roll here. We'll go that. Thank you very much, Eli. I thought I had heard this before. Gentlemen, you guys got to get with the program.
Yeah, I asked whichever one. Everyone said 19.
Well, we already read this. All right.
I had like 3 19s.
So we're so disorganized today, guys. We're going to leave this one in here. We should probably stop and start again, but I'm going to show you this organization of our family. I hope you guys are more organized than we are, for sure. Okay, now let's try this again. Okay, Does anything change in our preference? I don't think anything changes other than...
Just that a bunch of the people of Asher died.
Yeah, the angel of death came and got them.
Oh, right. It's 180,000 people, right?
185,000.
185,000 people in the last chapter in 19. Okay. In those days, Kizikiyahu was sick unto death, and Yesiyahu the Nabai son of Amatz went to him and said to him, Thus said Yahuwah, put your house in order, for you are going to die and not live. Okay, this is I guess this falls on me because I read this morning, and somehow I'm still into 19. I read the same thing, so.
He says, you will die.
I got to get with the program. Okay, and he turned his face toward the wall and prayed to Yahuwah, saying, I pray to you, O Yahuwah, remember how I have walked before you in truth and with a perfect heart, and have done what was good in your eyes. And Kizikiyahu wept bitterly. This is interesting, right? I have an interesting experience with people who are dying now, and I didn't used to have this because I didn't used to hang around everybody who had a death sentence, but now all my friends, I guess, essentially, I guess are my friends or my family because they are keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. But all these serial killers on death row, some of them have an interesting way of dying, and I find death something very, very fascinating when I see people, as we deal with those the really, really old people. And it seems like as you get older, some people are like, okay, I'm gonna die. This is what it is. And then some people, like the old people, they just keep hooking up tubes and keep hooking up stuff and keep having surgeries. And nobody wants to die, and everybody's fighting every last moment of everything that they have just to keep this world alive. When the same thing that I tell all the brothers and sisters in change is that this life that we're living right here, and our attitudes that we have right here, and the things that we do right here, it's very, very it's interesting because some people fight to the death, but we have eternity. Eternity is going to be you can't compare time to 120 years. Right? We're already 6,000 years past the time of creation that we know of. And our lives, it just seems like, day after day, we complain about things in our lives. It's just so hard. We're barely scratching the surface of what eternity is. And eternity is either going to be a place of goodness or it's going to be a place of not so good. And there's no second chances in scriptures that I've found when it comes to eternity. If we mess this up, if we mess this 120 years up, it's over. It's game over. We have done it. We have messed up completely. And so you have Kizikiyahu, right? Hezekiah, and he's just about to be dead, and he decides he loves life so much that he weeps bitterly over it. And as I said, I mean, it's hard to explain these guys on death row and their vision of life and their understanding of life and what it is living with a death sentence like they have all the time. Some of these guys will tell me, you know what? I don't care when my time comes up. I'm a kamikaze. I'm going straight up. Some of these guys, some of the spookier things that they have said to me is one guy, he's been on death row now for like 35 years. And he says they get to watch everybody as they leave heading out to the van. When they go to the van takes them to the medical things. He's like, some people are zombies. They just stoically walk out. He's like, some people are being drugged as they scream and as they go. He's like, some people are on the edge. They're talking to everybody. Goodbye, guys. Have a good one, everybody. He's like, every single one of them. And he said, and this is what one of the brothers says. He said, every single one of these guys that are heading out. He's like, you will never, ever forget it. He's like, as crazy as it is. And, these guys live where they are able to see the people being walked to their cells and their cells being emptied out. And another thing he said is that back in the day, there used to be a day of, every time there was an execution, there was a day of silence. Everybody on the road would not eat. Not a single person ate. Everybody, he's like, people would even riot and they would go crazy when there was an execution. But he's like, now everybody's become so basically complicit with it. It's just another day. It's not even a big deal. But he said there were so many back in 2000. He said there were so many executions that they were having at least one every day. And one day they had two. He's like, they took the guy off, they rolled him off the gurney, and they put another guy right back on it. And this is all these guys sit there live in this kind of a state. And so there's interesting values of life. And I will say that our greatest part of our life is not right now. If this is our resume, this is a testing period. And if we pass this test, then we have a amazing shot at forever. And that's why we need to take every last moment that we have now. And we need not to worry about stupid video games, right? We need not to worry about things that don't matter in our lives, right? Anything that is outside the walk of the kingdom is working for Hasatan. It does not matter what it is, right? The people of our Creator are supposed to talk different, look different, speak different, and have different attitudes, right? And when we do things that are evil, we got to fix this. We really, really got to fix this. 4. And it came to be, before Yeshayahu had gone out into the middle court, that the word of Yahuwah came to him, saying, return and say to Kizikiyahu, the leader of my people, thus said Yahuwah, the Elohim of David, your father, I have heard your prayer. I have seen your tears. See, I am going to heal you. On the 3rd day, go up to the house of Yahuwah. All right. So this is what I talk about a lot. I talk about this. There's no other way to understand it other than our Creator has he's a giant network, and he has a kabillion different network plugs, and every single one of us have a piece of fiber optic cable that goes from our skull directly to him. And every time that we seek him, that we pray, that we close our eyes, and not even close our eyes, that we just seek our Creator and pray, then we have a direct link. And this is a leader of Israel, and he had a direct link. And before the prophet Isaiah could even leave the court, he had an answer. That was very, very quick. So sometimes prayers are answered very quick. Sometimes prayers aren't answered the way you think they are, so you don't think prayers are going to be answered. But then years later, something else happens, and something that you don't understand, you're like, wow, had my prayer been answered, everything would have been messed up. Or you would see that your prayer wouldn't have been in your best interest, or it was not the will of our Creator to be happen. So not every prayer you're going to say is going to get answered, but the prayers that are the right ones absolutely will. Now, continuing on. 6, and I shall add to your days 15 years, and deliver you from the city and from the hand of the sovereign of Ashur, and shall defend the city for my own sake, and for the sake of David, my servant. And Yeshayahu said, take a cake of figs, and they took and laid it on the boil, and he recovered. All right, so what do you guys make of this? What boil, and how would it...
Boil unto death.
Yeah, what would this boil? How would he die with just a simple boil?
I don't know.
It's kind of like something that stops human function. Maybe brain. I don't know. It's tumor.
A massive boil?
Yeah, I don't know.
So what we know of boils is they're not very cool things. There's external boils, and there's also internal boils where you'll have it's something like feels like a zit or something, and you just it just doesn't work out right. I don't know if that's even what he's talking about. Probably not. They're probably talking about something else. Maybe like you said, boil somewhere that it would have boiled up and cut off his circulation or cut off his neck or something. I don't know. But whatever it was deadly. Okay. 8. And Kizikiyahu said to Yeshayahu, what is the sign that Yahuwah heals me, and that I shall go up to the house of Yahuwah the 3rd day? Isn't this an interesting thing, though? I mean, what? Let's talk about this. What did he say here, fellas?
It's like how do I know? He goes, what's the sign? It's like
how many days are we talking about? We're only talking a maximum of 3 days, right?
Yeah.
He would know in 3 days. I mean, he's either going to live or die, right?
Maybe he isn't.
It's kind of like where Gideon's like, how do I know this is really Yahuwah? How about you make this rug wet on the outside, but dry on the inside?
I don't know. I feel like this is like he shouldn't have asked. I mean, he only has 3 days. He's either going to live or die. He had the prophet right there. It's interesting.
I don't think the prophets ever let him down either. So
but here's something interesting though, because a lot of Yah's people have asked for a sign, and a lot of them don't get in trouble. Right? Gideon didn't get in trouble. A lot of them, Yah understands human natures. I think Missouri is the show me state. Is it Missouri? Is it Missouri?
Missouri.
Is it Mississippi?
Hold on.
No, I think it's Missouri. It's a show me state. Look at that.
Missouri.
Real quick.
It's Missouri.
So there's a state, I think, of any of you that are out there, I remembered it from when I was a kid. It's called the show me state, right? And it's like everybody over there is always like, oh yeah, you do this? Well, show me.
Missouri.
In Missouri is a show me state?
Yep.
Yeah. So there you go. For any of you guys out there, show me. So let's continue on. And Yeshayahu said, now do you think before he answered this, I mean, because this is all immediate, would Yeshayahu have the answer to this right here? He goes, this is a sign for you from Yahuwah, that Yahuwah does the word which he has spoken. Shall the shadow go forward 10 degrees or go backwards 10 degrees? He's asking Kizikiyahu something. And Kiziyahu said, it would be easy for the shadow to go down 10 degrees. No, but let the shadow go backward 10 degrees.
So this is a sundial, I think.
This is a sundial. Yeah, this is a sundial. Here, let's do 11, then we'll discuss it. And Yesiyahu, the Nabai, cried out to Yahuwah, and he brought the shadow 10 degrees backwards, by which it had gone down on the sundial of Akaz. Okay, let's talk about this. Because on a sundial, I mean, that's how you tell time, is by the shadows coming around.
Back then, at least. That was like basically their clock.
Back then, right. We should probably all be very astute as sundials right here, because we have no idea when the clocks are ever going to go disappearing on us. And it's a good idea. Now, you guys could tell time on the sun more or less, right? Masameno?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Based on where it's at in the sky.
And it kind of looks, to me, it kind of looks like a clock.
Yeah, kind of top half a clock.
Yeah, like when you're looking at, like, for where we're at, if you're looking at like 10 or 11, it's usually like where a 10 or 11 would be.
When it's noon, it's like right above us.
Yeah, and then you can come up usually within, an hour or so of where you're at, just using the sun by itself down here. I'm sure that's everywhere else as well. But so what we're talking about here is we're talking about the shadow of the sundial going back. So what would that tell us is happening?
Yeah, show him a sign.
Showing a sign, that's good. But what would be happening if that sundial would go back?
Time would go
Sun
back.
would move.
Sun would go backwards, right?
It's like it's. I think it's the only two times historically in the Bible that the sun has gone backwards or stopped. We
Yeah.
had one in Joshua when it stopped for an entire day, and we basically just had it in like 24 hours of just sun.
Yeah, and so we have a couple different things like this. And a lot of times, I don't think this works on the ball earth method. I don't think this entire...
They gotta unspin the earth.
Everything would be spin, the entire spinning thing, and so all of a sudden you'd say that the creator isn't spinning the earth when this happens. But I think it's far more easy. In fact, the book of Enoch clearly tells us that we live on plains, and it very clearly tells us there's gates that the sun and the moon go out of that are different gates, and they exit in different gates, and it is based upon these gates how our seasons work, and makes a lot more sense than that we're a bunch of monkeys on a spinning water ball. Okay, 12. At that time, Berodach Baladan, son of Baladan, sovereign of Babel, sent letters and a present to Kizikiyahu, for he heard that Kizikiyahu had been sick. And Kizikiyahu listened to them and showed them all his treasure house, the silver and the gold and the spices and the precious ointment, and all his armory, and all that was found among his treasures. There was not an object in his house or in all his rule that Kizikiyahu did not show them. Now, this sounds like a really bad idea, right? Does anyone think this right here, this particular piece?
It's like bringing some robbers to your house, showing them your safe of goods and jewelry, and saying, "This is all my most expensive material."
Yes, it's like taking a bunch of thugs and touring all of your stuff, and all of a sudden they're taking inventory of your stuff. And I think this was a really bad idea. I don't think this was a good idea. I think Yah wasn't happy with him in all of this. And I just don't think it's a really good idea. 14. And Yesiyahu, the Nabai, came to sovereign Kizikiyahu and said to him, "What did these men say? And from where did they come to you?" And Kizikiyahu said, "They came from a distant land, from Babel." And he said, "What have they seen in your house?" And Kizikiyahu answered, "They saw all that is in my house. There is not an object among my treasures that I did not show them." And Yesiyahu said to Kizikiyahu, "Hear the word of Yahuwah. See, the days are coming when all that is in your house and what your fathers have treasured up until this day shall be brought to Babel. No object is to be left," said Yahuwah. Now, is this a prophecy based upon him showing all these people stuff? Did he mess this up, or is this just basically him being explained that regardless, everything you have is gone?
I think he's just explaining that people in Babel they're not the friends that he thinks they are.
Yeah.
I don't think people really understood what the reign of Babel was back then.
Probably not.
Babel didn't mean something evil to them. It was just another kingdom. Like, oh, hey guys,
Yeah.
that's gone.
All right. And they are going to take away some of your sons who are to be born to you, whom you bring forth, and they shall be eunuchs in the palace of the sovereign of Babel. All right. Well, do you think his sons were eunuchs to begin with, or do you think that was part of the punishment, the part of the gig?
I don't want to know.
Does anyone have a guess? I mean,
Probably part of the punishment.
Probably part of the punishment. And there's a lot in scriptures about eunuchs. And there's a tremendous amount. And still, I don't think we're educated enough to actually understand what it is. There's been some celebrity eunuchs. What celebrity eunuchs? What hero eunuchs do we have in
The
Scripture?
ones that threw Jezebel off the wall.
Jezebel, yeah, the eunuchs that tossed Jezebel down. Those guys were stallions, right? They I don't, whatever. Okay, 19. And Kizikiyahu said to Yesiyahu, the word of Yahuwah which you have spoken is good. And he said, is it not so? If peace and truth are to be in my days. So, Kizikiyahu's like,
kind of selfish.
yeah, he's like, well, I'm going to be all right? My days are going to be
I got
good.
15 years.
Yeah, so
It's past my days.
is this the right answer for this? I mean, there's something he would ask, like, is there a way for this not to happen?
How do I stop this happening? How do I keep the reign intact even after my death?
Yeah, my sons, my grandkids are going to be eunuchs in the palace in Babylon. How would you prevent something like this, right? You would want to, is there a way we can stop this from happening, right? So I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot more to this conversation than what it is, but it's interesting. Kizikiyahu's like, this is good.
I think
with an exclamation point.
I think this is like really close to time, like these two events really close. Like, oh hey, you're dying to oh hey, you're reigning taking. So he's like, I don't care, I'm dying.
Your kids are all gonna be
whatever.
clipped. Okay, all right, here we go. 20. And the rest of the acts of Kizikiyahu and all his might, and how he made a pool and a channel and brought water into the city, are they not written in the book of the annals of the sovereigns of Yehuda? You guys remember that? You remember his pool? I don't remember his pool.
I don't remember.
So Kizikiyahu slept with his fathers, and Manasseh, his son, reigned in his place.
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy, King Manasseh.
Yeah, and Manasseh, and
He's
so
a special fellow.
and so there we are, and so we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more kings until all of the southern tribe is gone as well. But the good news, because we know of all of the actions of the southern tribe, because we have the book of Daniel, we know that, and we also know that they all came back from the book of Ezra and Nehemiah. And so they only get taken away 70 years, which is probably a good idea for that. Leniency, right? It's like our Creator is a good probation officer, right? He sits there, he recommends, and he throws a little bit of a punishment, a little bit more punishment, and then if you don't do it, then he just sends you off into captivity. So the way it is. All right, so much love to everybody out there. Thank you guys for hanging out. Shalom to everybody, and if you are keeping today the Feast of Trumpets, blow your shofars. Have a good day. We love you all.
All right,
Shalom.